What's up, guys? Today we are going to try and install long tube headers. I got the Chrysler long tube header kit, as well as the catless mid pipes that we're going to do as well. Pretty much got everything parts wise ready to go. So we got both our headers, both our catless mids, our gaskets out. This is the two connection pipes from the cat to the header right there, and the two rear O2 sensors right there. Two more gaskets for the headers to the mids, and the one single front O2 extension, and a little bit of anti-seize. Tools wise, what you'll need is that right there, and that right there. And if we end up using anything else, I'll let you guys know, and we'll see how it goes. Apparently it's supposed to be pretty tough, so we'll see. I'm sure it'll be a bit of a challenge and take some time, but I think we can get it done. So the first thing we did was unplug the battery, just the negative terminal on the battery, and now we're going to take off these four bolts here, take this plastic cover off, and then we'll get a good look at what we gotta do. Yeah, so we got all that out, just that piece there, and it was just 410 mils, which I forgot to say earlier. And now we're going to take a look at all those bolts up there that we are going to have to try and take out somehow. Now my car, I already had installed years ago a set of SRT headers, and these are MagnaFlow high flow cats, so I don't know if it will really make a difference compared to stock. Hopefully it doesn't, and this can help you guys out a little bit more. But next thing we're going to start is taking off the cats, get them out of the way, and then taking off our sensors and getting them ready to go. So we got the front there, and the front there, and the rear right there, and then the other rear right above me there. So I was having trouble reaching that plug up there for the O2 sensor on the front. I got the rear one off right there, no problem. So what I'm going to do is I just undid it from the cat, which I gotta do anyways, and I'm going to take this cat off, get that out of the way, and then I'll be able to get my arm up there and unplug it, no problem. And just another heads up, guys, my car's been sitting here for a day, so it's fine because it's been cold for a while, but just be careful and let your car cool down. Make sure you're not burning yourself on the exhaust. So we got both cat pipes out, and it was pretty difficult. For the driver's side, we used a 5/8 socket because I didn't have a deep 16, and two extensions on the impact. And we had to use a pry bar to get it off between this connection pipe and the cat. And then on this side, we had a massive extension here all the way to get in between the cat and this little wall there, because we couldn't reach it from this side with a swivel or anything. So we have the, I think this is the actual 16 in the swivel bit. This is all 3/8, and then three separate different sized extensions. So a bit of a pain. So the next step we're gonna do, it's a little bit tight to see, we're gonna be taking off all of these little bolts, and then the rest on the top as well, both sides, and then we're gonna try and wiggle her out. Alright, so it's actually the next day now, and I worked on it for about 7 hours yesterday, and just started today. I got the one header out, and I got a few bolts out of this one. It's definitely a huge pain. I was able to get to the four bottoms out down here with either an extension on an extension with a swivel, or just using a 10 mil wrench and then I was actually sitting on top of the motor to do the top 4. So while I was up here, I took out the 2 10mm bolts for the coolant reservoir, and I just took a piece of wire, tied it to my strut just to pick it up a little bit so I can get my hand down here, and I was able to go 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way across with a 10mm wrench. Took a while, pretty tedious, kind of sucks, but it's not like the worst thing ever. It can be done, but luckily I got like little girly hands so I can squeeze in behind there. So yeah, now I'm just gonna try and tackle the next one. Sorry I can't really get too much of this on film. It's tough to film and do everything lying down and moving around and stuff, so I apologize for that. So I got the passenger side out. What I had to do is up in here, right there, is the where the knock sensor goes. So I took that out. It was a 15mm bolt. Pulled that out, and I just loosened the bracket holding the oil dipstick tube, and just kind of twist that out of the way. I got pretty much every single one out from the bottom, minus the 3rd one in. I had to get that one from on top with a 10mm socket on a quarter drive ratchet. So here's a size comparison between the two. The long tubes are a lot bigger, and these are still the SRT shorties, right? These aren't even the 5.7 shorty headers, which are even more restrictive than these. I'm really just changing it because I wanted it a little bit louder and going catless too, so I figure might as well complete the whole course of setup and do all the way front to back. So I'm going to try my hand at the passenger side first. I got my gasket here. Because it's a 5.7, it comes with an extra hole right there, so you know this is the passenger side. And I got anti-seize on 8 bolts ready to go. So what it tells me to do is put the 4 bottoms in first with the gasket, and then I got slots on the bottom of the headers so I can slide it on and then put the top 4 on after that. Hopefully it makes things a little easier. Alright guys, so this long tube is now in and all tightened up. It was actually much easier than taking out the SRT shorty. The easy part was, I don't know if all long tube headers that in the aftermarket have this, but the bottom are slots. So all I had to do was put the gasket on first with all 4 bottom bolts, leave them on loose, and it slipped on no problem. And then I just by hand got all the top 4 in, and I was able to tighten each one, the top, front and back, and all 4 of the bottoms underneath the car, and then I just went on top in the engine bay to get the other tops too, and it was actually pretty good. I found the passenger side harder to get off, so I'm hoping getting this side in will be even easier than this and then the passenger side. Only thing I'm not sure of yet is the steering rack. Hopefully I can squeeze by that no problem, but I'll let you guys know in a sec. So right now I got all 4 bottom bolts on, and then I'm going to slide on the header hopefully and get the other 4 in and then crank it down. I got the driver side header in now. It was a bit more of a challenge. I found that the 3rd one from the front was the hardest to get to. It just took a while, and I got a wrench on it, and I could only do 1 or 2 clicks, maybe 3 if I was lucky, to get it going, and then it just took a lot of time. But everyone else went pretty good. I got 6 from the bottom and then 2 from the top, and yeah, now we're here. I got first O2 sensor in. I haven't tightened yet. I also got the passenger side O2 sensor in, and this side we'll also get an extension to get to that, and then I'll be moving on to the next step with the catless mint. So I got the O2 sensor extensions in for the fronts, and I got the driver's side rear here as well, and then I reinstalled the knock sensor up there, and then up top I also tightened back down the coolant reservoir, so all up there is good, and now it's just putting these babies back together and should be done. So it's about 2 weeks later, maybe more, and kind of ran into a snag. And what had happened was the cat pipes were actually the wrong size. They did not fit up to my cat back, and they were also just way too short. I don't know why they're so short, but because I have a SRT cat back, the pipes were already too big for the cat pipe, so I ended up getting custom ones made up, these guys here. I went with 3 inches instead, because why not, just make it a little bit louder, and then all welded all the way to the back. I got the local exhaust shop to do it for me. And the other problems I ran into, which I'll show you when I'm on top of the car, where I was leaking originally up top there, and then when I fixed that, I had a rattle, and then I also got it from on top of the car. That bracket right there, that was one of the problems I ran into. I did it myself though, is when I put the header back in the long tube, I accidentally had the bracket behind there, didn't realize, and that's what caused the leak in the beginning. So I just had to loosen it all off, pull the top bolts out, and slide it back a bit, or tilt it back a bit, and then pull the bracket out, and then tighten it back up. And then the last rattle was actually, see, I don't even think you won't really be able to see, but one of the old bolts I had, it actually fell off and slid all the way down between all the manifold tubes and got wedged in between all 4, and I just had a little like grabber tool I used to go and pick it out, and that was the cause of the last vibration. So bit of a pain, but also most of those things were just my fault, and now she's good to go. So after going over everything, the only thing I gotta do now is put the rear O2 sensor back in on the passenger side here, and I just gotta tighten up all 4 of these bolts on both sides, and I should be good to go. I'm just gonna double check everything again, because why not? Doesn't hurt. And I think I left a couple clamps at the back loose, just in case I had to move anything at all. That should be everything. I just gotta plug the battery back in and give it a start and see what happens. So that was it. Did take a while because of issues, as 2 were my fault and then the other was, I guess, wrong pipe size. But it is, like, I'm not the most handiest guy. Like, I'm mechanically inclined, but it is possible for you to do in your garage. It just takes a lot of time and patience, and it is a pain. Like, no matter what, it's gonna be a pain, but totally worth it. I'd recommend it. Go Corsa or any other long tube, I'm sure it'll sound fantastic as well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry I couldn't really show you too much on camera. It was just tough doing it all. I wanted to show more, but I just couldn't with just one hand, so I'm gonna find other ways to try and film getting things done. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed.